it is. Coolest tack ever made. The optimum of 70s badass. It's the classic MOROSO Mechanical tack. Back in the day, thought you had some fast shit. You had fast shit. This was the go-to tachometer. I think they come out in like the late 60s. And then I don't know when they quit making them. Sometime in the 80s. Early 80s. This one here. It is a May 11th, 1974. That's when this tack was made. That's your old Jones Motorola. That's who actually made the tack for MOROSO. These things are different than your electric tacks. They got a fucking cable on them that's like a speedometer cable that runs it, and you gotta have a tack drive distributor to take the other end of that. You're running your fucking cable to the back of that tack there, and then run it through your firewall and to your distributor. But most distributors don't have a tack drive. Back in the day, you'd have to find you like a Corvette dual point distributor or Mallory's Unilights and Mallory dual points. You could get them with tack drives. Axel, BEI, they could be have a tack drive. And Vertex magnetos and shit like that. But these were the tack of choice for your Pro Stock, Superstock, modified production, all your badass door slammer classes. Bob Glidden ran them. Grumpy Bill Jenkins had them in his Pro Stock Vegas and Camaros. But they were the best fucking tack ever made, in my opinion. We got the little telltale here. Fucking RPM goes up, say 8,000 RPM, it'll move that yellow line up to 8 grand. And the needle come back down. It'll tell you your highest RPM your engine reached through the run. It's a 12,000 RPM tack. That's a lot of fucking RPMs, but back in the day, they were small cubic inch modified production class and Econo altered, Econo dragsters, shit like that, with small cube engines that would turn 10,000-11,000 RPM and make more than 2 horse per cube. So if you had an engine turning over 10 grand, you needed a tack with more than 8,000 RPM showing on it. These things are pretty rare these days. They were fucking expensive back when they were new, and they're expensive now if you can find one. This fucker here, it's 51 years old, and it's in extremely good condition. That's the original bracket and shit. Anodized gold. These mechanical tachs, they were fucking, like, compared to an electric tach, which I always use these big fucking tachometer monster tach. They're electric, wired up to your distributor and shit. The coil. But the fucking needle on them, you compare it to a mechanical tach, and the mechanical tach, it's like fucking, it's a lot more sensitive. That fucking needle jumps up quick. Where like an electric tach's got like a little lag to it. I don't know how to explain it, but it's different. You watch an engine running with a mechanical tach, and that fucking needle's flopping back and forth way quicker than this one would. But down low RPMs, they're allowed to be a little bouncy. You fucking get in it and that motherfucker smooth out, but so they're just more responsive. And there's a direct mechanical fucking hook up to the distributor with a big cable. I gotta get a cable for it, but I'm putting this in my 79 Cutlass drag car project I'm fucking with. But I gotta figure out where I'm gonna mount it and shit. And get the engine in there, and then take me a piece of rope or something and run from the back of that tach through the firewall to the distributor, and put some little slack in it and measure it and figure out how long a cable I'm gonna need. Now, just a fucking cable for these son of a bitches. I mean, there's cheap or cheaper, like replacement cables, like Stuart Warner and shit like that. But for the authentic 70s Moroso cables, you're allowed to pay $200 just for the fucking cable. So I'll pay $200 for that bracket, and you're allowed to pay $200-300 for that tach. So by the time you got it in your car functioning, you're allowed to be $600 deep in a fucking tach. And then you gotta have a tach drive distributor to hook it up to. And they cost more than regular distributors. And they're not real common. You're not gonna go to AutoZone and buy a tach drive distributor. So you're gonna have to find one. They may still make them, but you're probably gonna have to find one from like the 70s. I recently acquired this piece. I've had a couple of them over the years, back in the day, and a few of my hot rods. And I always liked the way that they were just more responsive. Fucking, like I said, that needle snaps. And I believe they're the most accurate, because it is a mechanical fucking hookup straight to the distributor versus electronics. Don't get me wrong, these big monster tachs here, I've used a shitload of them. I got one. I got a few cars now that have them in them, so I still use them. These here, they're special. Most people never even seen them. And like I said, they're fucking getting rare now and expensive. I hate to say what I paid for that son of a bitch, but I could have bought a brand new one of these cheaper. Put it that way. I ain't been doing a whole lot in the gathering stage and gathering me up a fuel system for the Cutlass. I decided I'm going to run a smaller fuel cell in it. This is a 5-gallon unit. I'm going to go with number 10 holes. I got my 2-inch spacers so I can keep it inside the trunk. And this fucking sump here drops down 2 inches. So ordinarily you'd cut a hole in the floor of the trunk and let this hang down through the bottom, through the floor. But I like to keep them inside the trunk. I have the whole fuel system right there, right next, put the pump right next to the tank and shit. Run a big relay. You don't run a pump like this without a fucking relay. Some people might be tempted just to wire straight to a key on hot, but you need a good relay with some thick fucking wire. These things are simple to fucking install, wire up and shit. I got my complete fuel system. Got my big fucking fuel filter there, and then got a smaller one to go for the regulator. Probably gonna use this Mallory unit here. With that Magna fuel pump. So there's the fuel system. I got holes that's E85 compatible and shit. So it's black holes, so it looks like regular fucking fuel line, but it's not. It's push lock shit, but it's, I forgot what the fuck they said the inner liner is, but it'll take alcohol. Got this old school Moroso water neck for the project. Those were the optimum of cool. Them fucking things are expensive as hell. That one there is about 35 years old. But they still make them. But they're fucking pricey. I've been working on the linkage. Fucking all this shit, but the fucking instructions are hard to fucking, it's like it was printed bad and you can't really fucking see, so it's pretty much on your own sorting this shit out, getting everything adjusted perfect and synchronizing the carburetors and shit and the fucking fuel lines. It's all up on that shit. So I'm gonna do something different, but still figuring it out. it's a process. Cleaning the shit out of that block there, prepping it for paint, but that shit gets monotonous as fucking hell. Just ain't been into it lately. Here's a unit on the back burner. It's gonna be a pretty stock appearing. It's gonna look mild, but it's gonna have a little spice to it. Gonna have a pretty healthy roller, and hell, I might use these fucking heads I got sitting on it. These are 1968 041 heads that reported like back in the fucking 70s. I don't know if they were on a Superstock engine or like a Cono dragster type shit. They're fucking hogged out. They've been sitting for many years. These were the first accessory hole heads. 64cc chamber, closed chambered. Pretty much a double hump head. This side it's got the balls, but nothing's drilled. So these are like the first accessory bolt hole heads. I got this bow tie intake. I probably won't run these old Moroso valve covers and shit on here. I'll probably put some black ones on it or orange. Just paint it all fucking orange. Or that block's like a 77. It's just a timing chain cover off a fucking late 70s 305, I believe it was. But that's the color that block was from the factory. It was blue, which ain't much paint left on it. But that's a 4-bolt main 350. Come out of a big truck. And then them heads come off of like a 68 350 out of a Camaro or Chevelle or something. They got some big ass. I think they're about a 1205 intake port. They're milled down to like 58, 56, 58 cc chambers. Cut for big springs and shit, and screw-in studs, and they got the works. If you took a pair of cast iron heads to the machine shop now and had all the work done that was done to these fucking things, it cost you a couple grand minimal. Be cheaper to buy a new set of fucking Brodix heads or something. But that's old school rare shit there, and they will flow quite a bit more than one would think. They're well ported. I got this fucking thing. This is what's going in the cutlass first. And then after I get this one built, I'll probably drop it in there with this tunnel ram and shit. And if I ever get my 427 big block put together, then it's going in there. Or my 439. So just gathering parts. I ain't rich, so I can't just fucking make an order and order every little fucking thing I need at once. I gotta gather the shit up, buy all these fucking fittings piece by piece. It adds up. Fucking some goddamn fittings are pretty fucking expensive just for one fucking fitting. And you use a fucking shitload of them, you sink a ton of money in just the fucking fuel system. I'm digging this old tach here. That's gonna look good in the Cutlass. These things here, this is the big, they had a smaller version. I think it was like a 3.5 inch face. And this was the big fucker. I guess this would have been the monster tach. It's like 4.5 inch face. Usually people would, like whatever your red line is, say you're gonna take it to 8,500, you fucking spin the tach around to where 8,500 is straight up and down. So that's your fucking, that's how you know your red line, when if that needle's pointing straight up and down, you're there. But you see old race cars and shit, and the face of them's always twisted and with the red line pointing up. My wife was wondering when I got this one, that's how it was, but I just leveled it out. But it was pointing at like 8,500 to the top. But that's how you knew your red line. Just straight out of the 70s. High tech they weren't. But they fucking definitely did the job. And if you're building a 70s period correct drag car, you want it to look right, you're gonna have to find you one of these. These fucking things are well made. Jones Motorola, who made it, and they make real good shit. They really did back then. They made fucking walkie-talkies and some of the first cell phones and shit, and fucking military shit all the way back to the wars for communications, and gauges and planes and shit. The old mechanical tach, you know, it's got a light in it. You know, it's just ground the fucking housing and then run this to a hot. So it lights up. I was impressed with the condition of this thing. It looks damn near barely fucking used. It almost looks like new old stock. Just looking at the fucking the base and shit, there ain't no impressions from like bolts being screwed down in there or washers, or so it's like it was one that was never fucking used, stashed away somewhere for 50 years. But there it is, the ultimate tachometer, Moroso Mechanical. 70s cool.